I would like to clarify. See, a number of times repeated this, and again I see that this getting submitted as artifact. Unit 1, you can't put your experienced teachers class anything as an artifact. You cannot be putting anything related to your experienced teacher's class as an artifact. Remember, you are doing the assignment, not your experienced teacher. Okay, so you put those class photos. Please understand, those are not evidences for your teaching, isn't it? So what in the unit 1, it has to be your learning that has to be put. And those who are not tech savvy, please sit with a computer teacher, understand how exactly you have to upload in a drive and share it with me. You send it as Word documents. Remember, I'll have to download it and then upload it. That is not going to happen. That is the reason I'm continuously asking you to put it as a Word document or Google Docs in the drive and share it. Okay. And another thing, if you have given me access, because I'm not able to access because it's a simple thing that I'm asking, but I've not got response as of now. So whether you have done that or not, please do send message. Then I'll understand that that has happened or not. Okay. So these are some of the things that I've observed in your assignments, and please do message me. See, one or two of you have messaged yesterday. Can I call you? But this week it will be a little tight for me because we have our school annual day. However, I'll try to contact you once I am free. But no, I would like you to understand that no, you are supposed to continuously contact or send messages regarding your assignment status as a mail. So there are few of you who are not giving me edit access or suggesting this one and expecting assignment to be reviewed. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So please understand this. Because of that, the work is getting delayed. Okay. And if your mentor has reviewed your work, please see that that work is shared with me. Okay. Do not use Chat GPT, because those who are using Chat GPT, we can clearly identify that you are using multiple references for one particular statement. Remember, you are not going to refer that many books. Yes or no? You are not going to refer that many books. So it is obvious that you have taken from AI sites. Please do not do that. Tomorrow it comes under plagiarism. We will not be responsible for that, because this I'm again repeating because 2-3 times now I've observed in your EOL and EOR with multiple references, and I'm 100% sure you're not going to refer 3 or 4 books for the same idea. Okay, it has to be candidates' individual work. And if you are caught with plagiarism, remember it is a very tedious process and you will not be able to enroll for any more Cambridge certification. You will be asked to give in a written explanation along with your mentor. Remember, your mentor will be held responsible for whatever plagiarism you're doing. So please be aware of this part and do not do that. Read through. Okay, you can use grammar sites to correct your grammar, but do not ask questions to Chat GPT. Get those answers and paste them. Because obviously I'm able to see that is being used. Please don't do it. Chat GPT or Gemini, whatever you're using, avoid using such tools for generating answers. Okay, clear all of you? Understand, whatever now I'm speaking is different because tomorrow it comes as a review to you. You are asked to give a written explanation. Your mentor has to give, your HOI has to give, and then the school, like the head of the center has to give, program leader has to give. These and all are unwanted things that we should be looking into. So please do not use Chat GPT. Yes. Yeah. So can any other queries you have for the past week? And one more thing, this is another important thing. Without your unit 2 observation feedback getting approved, do not start your unit 3. Okay, because your observation feedback must and should be connected to unit 3. Whatever areas of improvement your mentor is suggesting must and should be connected to unit 3. If that is not there, it is an invalid assignment. The assignment will not be connected. So without getting that approved, do not move to unit 3. Okay, you need not submit your lesson plan till your observation feedback of unit 2 is approved. Okay, yeah. Any other queries you have?
Ma'am, I have given the edit access. Ma'am,
Tehseen ma'am, that is what I'm saying. When you're giving me edit access, because I remember asking long time, how will I know you have given the edit access if you're not sending me the mail?
I have sent a message also in WhatsApp. Your
I have
personal number,
already told you personal messages don't send in WhatsApp, because WhatsApp, what happens, it pops up, I read it, it goes off. Send it as a mail because I'll keep it in unread. When it is for me, all unread mails will be on the top. So I'll give priority for checking that. That is the reason I keep on saying that send it as a mail. Your WhatsApp, what happens, as soon as it pops up, you check it off and then it goes out of your head, because your messages are going to go down.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. That is the reason I keep on repeating, please send it as a mail, please send it as a mail. Remember, Tehseen ma'am, it's not you alone. Everyone will be messaging me, isn't it?
Okay.
So my own personal messages also will be coming. Now your name will not be there. So I have to scroll down to check whose message. I'll miss out if it's a WhatsApp. But the same thing in mail, I will not be keeping it as under read unless until I've verified yours. So I'll mark it as unread and I'll keep it. That is the reason I'm stressing on you to put it as a mail once you have given me edit option. And please do not send single documents. EOL one link, EOR one link. I've repeatedly told you, please send it as a folder. The reason is I have to check your lesson plan when I'm doing your observation feedback. I have to keep your lesson plan open to see your EOL, your observation, lesson plan, observation feedback, and then your EOR. These three I have to match. Okay. If anything I miss, remember your assignment will come as resubmission and again it will be a problem. So please do send me only folder links. Do not send me individual links. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Neelam. Neelam.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, I have a few doubts. Few reference cannot find the year of publication in those documents, ma'am.
See, author may not be there, but definitely year will be there. You will have to search it with the reference name in Google. Maybe that is not the site where the original reference was mentioned, but year will definitely be mentioned. There are certain paid sites which you need not take the entire document, but year will be mentioned in the paid sites. Abstract will be given and that year will be given. If you need to access the entire article, paid website, paid sites you will be having. Research sites.
Yes, ma'am. Like Australian, through that, but I could not find in the repository.
It will be there. You check it out, go down or check. Year will definitely be given. Year will be there.
Okay, ma'am.
Author may not be there, but year will be.
Ma'am, there was one.
If it is not clear, if it is some other like a blog or
author
no
and
view
his
that is
work was
published in.
Ma'am, it was published in various websites.
So if that article is not going correctly, check for another article which has authentic information and put that as a reference. It's not that one article you'll be getting. You'll get multiple articles. Take the authentic one where here everything is mentioned and use that only as reference. Yes, Manjari ma'am.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, while implementation of the lesson plan, ma'am, I have taken a video. So how many minutes should I edit that video, ma'am? Once again, if you can just tell me.
For what you are taken a video?
I mean, for the artifacts, ma'am, suppose we can upload a video also, no, ma'am?
The video you have to, it should be less than 2 MB.
2 MB, okay. 2 MB.
Size is 2 MB.
Okay, fine, ma'am. And do we, title, I mean, while the video, there should not be any background music or nothing as such. Like,
Yeah, it should be more of students' presentation and students' work.
okay, and can we write it down, like in the sense, supposed to explain what is being shown in the video, can the title be written? Like sometimes
You can write as a title. Yes, in sentence you can write, but no, what exactly you're doing, you would have mentioned in the lesson plan, isn't it? The
yes,
same activity, you can mention it as the heading here.
Okay, fine, ma'am. Fine, ma'am.
You have to mention it as heading only. You should not mention as artifact.
Okay. Heading in the sense I didn't get, ma'am. In the
See,
sense
for example, if you have taken a video of think, pair, share, you will mention that only, think, pair, share in my classroom.
Okay. No, suppose I have taken an entire video, ma'am, like entire, so I just kind of edited.
That is not required. That is not required.
that
Take
is-
only bits and pieces of it.
Okay, bits and pieces of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 MB means it's a very small file that you have to.
Okay, very small. Okay, fine, ma'am. Fine, ma'am. Understood.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So I'm just starting today's session. So this is the last session. Yes, Neelam?
Ma'am, I have one more doubt for Unit 3. Do we need to write lesson plans, ma'am?
No, one lesson plan only. One lesson plan like unit. But whatever is the mentor feedback given in unit 2 must come as one of the intended learning outcomes of your unit 3. Whatever is your mentor's feedback. Okay. So I would request, now it's 2025, I would request all of you to check your portfolio for the templates. See whether templates have changed, new templates have come, paste your work in the new templates so that you can start working with the new templates rather than keeping the old templates. Okay. So today's we will be going with the last learning outcome L, evaluate lessons to identify strengths and areas for further development in classroom practice. What criteria can be used to judge the effectiveness of a lesson? Why is it important that observers' feedback and self-reflection identifies both strengths and areas of further development in teaching and learning when evaluating lessons? How can teachers measure the impact of their learning has had on their students' learning? How are you developing Cambridge learner and teacher attributes in your professional practice? Again, here, most of the times I've seen candidates ignoring the last question. Keep these key questions when you're writing your evidence of learning or reflection. You have to see that your entire writing answers these questions. Okay. Beyond that, you can put your reflection, but it has to answer these key questions. Otherwise, it's not going to be considered. So now evaluate your lesson on the 4 criteria with suitable attributes: planning, teaching, learning, and assessment. I'll just share this with you. Please go through and share your thoughts. Okay, I'll give you time. I think sir has joined. Sir, would you like to address?
Yes, madam. Good morning, madam. Good morning,
Good
all of
morning,
you.
sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sudha
Good
madam.
morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Sudha
morning,
madam.
sir.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir. You're not
Yes,
able to
ma'am.
hear?
Yeah. Yes, madam. Right away, it's okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How many people they joined? All the members, whoever this batch, all members joined, madam.
Yes, sir. All of them are here, sir.
All of them joined. Okay, right. And you have finished total 17 sessions online. It is a productively, madam.
Yes, sir. This is the last 18th session.
Okay.
So one more is there. That is actually doubt clarifying. So today is the last session.
Okay. So then, what is, as a leader, what is your confidence on the total 22 members, madam?
We have, I think, 18, 18 members, sir.
Total 18?
Yeah,
I
Ma'am,
thought
18
only
members.
it is total,
if we include
total 22?
Bashira and then Mallika, it is 20, right?
20 members.
Yes, ma'am.
If we are
Bashira and
including them,
Malika.
20.
Okay, total 20 members, madam, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In including TL and DT, both.
No, sir, only
Sir, this
TL
year we
this
have
time.
only TL, sir.
Okay. So there is no DT.
No,
No,
sir.
sir,
No.
there is no DT.
Right. All 20 members, including Bashira madam and Malika madam, they have joined.
Bashira and Mallika are not joining, sir, right from the start of the session.
Just two
Okay.
classes or so they have joined, sir.
Okay. Then what is the point to include it as a members over the year, madam? It is why don't you terminate them?
We had a discussion, sir. Now we have kept both of them on hold. I'll discuss about both these candidates separately at work, office, sir.
Okay. So, madam, it is as a training institute, we abide for some rules and regulations. We haven't abided by the rules and regulations.
Sir.
It is quite difficult to implement, and it is continuing of this progression, madam. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So, but it is causes it take a lighter note, and other people also they might have they are not in focus, and it is a non-serious kind of thing. That isn't quite difficult to sustain our institute forever, madam. Am I right? Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is one kind of thing, and whoever immediately it is in beginning of the 1-2 sessions, if they haven't serious about the course, then immediately you take a call, madam, to terminate those people, and don't allow the any kind of excuses, madam.
Okay, sir.
That next time you please take a call, madam.
Okay, sir. Okay,
The
sir.
program coordinator, you have to take a call. That is one thing. And second thing, out of these 18 members, madam, as per the schedules, Sudha madam,
Yes,
as
sir.
per the schedules, we are going to upload the final submissions. Then what is the final date, madam?
Sir, final date, we can upload January. One assignment will get uploaded, sir. That I'm 100% sure, because Chaitanya ma'am is almost completed. After today's session, her EOR will also be completed. Then during this vacation, I'll make her upload. Others, there are 4 to 5 candidates who are ready for February upload, sir. If the others can speed up, because they are in unit 2, if they speed up unit 3, they do it, then we will have more uploads in February. The last uploads that according to me will be in the month of April, sir. We are not extending to May also, because March there is no upload. So April uploads, because all of them have completed except one candidate. All of them have done their unit 1. So only I'm waiting for once they finish off their unit 2, it becomes easy for them also, sir.
My request, madam, other whoever they postpone to the April updation, madam, that you have to motivate her. And who is that, madam? Name is.
Sir, based on their unit 2 completion only we can do, sir. They have given only 7 members have responded to the Google form. But
Okay.
according to my this one, sir, there are, I'll share the data, sir, so that you will have an idea.
Yeah.
All the green marked is approved ones, sir. So these are all the green ones in unit 2 are approved ones, where their observation also they have done, but no, there is some pending that they have to correct and submit. So this many are there. Unit 1 is completed for almost everyone. So they have to give me the unit 2. So those who are in this unit 1 non-completion only will be going on for April submission, sir. Others all will be completing.
Okay. So you fix that dates, madam. It is in according to regularly whatever the dates have given. Maybe 19th is also one of the session is there now, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Again, we will connect and we will take it as an individual perception and individual opinion.
Yes, sir.
And we
Yes,
will
we can.
discuss with each and every candidate. So finally, you please fix one date, madam, for in February.
Yeah.
And we will make it sure to finish up the thing, madam.
Sure, sir. Definitely, sir.
Right, madam. Again, we will connect in the 19th, madam.
Sure, sir.
Sure,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right.
Sure, sir. Thank
Jimmy,
you, sir.
madam, anything else?
No, sir, nothing. We will get clarity post Pongal vacation, sir. Then we will connect
Yes,
and then we'll take a clarity from the candidates also.
Sure, madam. Don't repeat that experience in between the past session, madam. It is an 1-1, 2-2, 4-4. These uploads, it should not be happen for this batch, madam. That's it.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Right. Don't entertain for that, madam.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Wish you
Thank you,
all
sir.
the best and happy New Year and
Thank you, sir.
Pongal,
Happy
madam.
New Year. Happy New Year.
Thank
to
you,
all
sir.
of you.
Thank you,
Happy
sir.
Pongal also.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, madam. Wish you good luck, all of the teachers, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir. We shall continue with the session, sir.
Right. Yes, madam. After finish, you please give me a call.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, so now you can check through the link that I have posted in the chat box. Okay. And look at why we have to look at Cambridge attributes as an essential part when we are teaching in our classes. Why should we look at Cambridge attributes? What are the Cambridge attributes? What are the different Cambridge attributes? Can anyone tell?
Confident,
Riser,
responsible,
ma'am,
Confident, yes.
engaged,
Reflective, okay.
engaged,
innovative,
Engaged,
innovative, responsible,
okay. In short,
riser.
no, Neelam, one thing. These are the 5 things that you have to remember. Okay. So I remember it as CRIE. CRRIE. Okay. In this way, you will remember it better. Confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, and engaged. Okay. These are the 5 attributes that you have to think about. Okay. So you can now read the document. Okay. You can now read the document and present your view. Yeah, you can tell. It need not be that you will have to work out. You can also talk.
Ma'am, can I try?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. From these documents, I understood, ma'am, if students are confident about their ideas and everything, they are ready to take the new challenges, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. That's correct.
And
Right.
And responsible. They are taking that ownership of that learning also, ma'am.
Okay. That's
And
good.
feeling,
That's good.
yes, ma'am. They are feeling responsible about that, ma'am. Reflective as learners.
Mm.
When they will understand that idea and learning objective, everything, then they will reflect about that, ma'am. Is it correct?
Yes. 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 Correct. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when they are confident, then they will innovate new things, ma'am. For
Okay.
further
Yeah.
challenges, they are ready and they will innovate, ma'am.
Sure.
And they are engaged also, ma'am. If we are conducting any activities also, at that time, if they are engaged and actively participating, at that time they are very interested in that, ma'am. I understood that thing, ma'am. Is it correct, ma'am?
Sure. Yes. It's correct. Yeah. Correct. You are able to connect it correctly. Yes. Champa ma'am, I saw you raise your hand. Okay, she stopped.
Actually, he
Yes.
told me. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Actually, Cambridge learner doesn't take concept without questioning why. So they are confident enough to ask why such a process is happening and why such a concept has to be developed and expanded. So this comes from their responsibility to understand the concept deeper and go for innovation, being reflective on whatever is being delivered to them.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Yes, Shravanti ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. So through this Cambridge learning, ma'am, children will be having the ability to analyze, ma'am, synthesize, and also to communicate, ma'am. So through
Okay.
and they'll have the confidence to express things or whatever they learn. They'll not hesitate. They'll not have a stage fear or anything, and they reflect independently. Here, the teacher will not help them. So they independently learn. The children will have the capability to independently learn and find out the solutions by themselves. And
Okay.
also,
Okay.
they will be very innovative, that they will be very creative and engaged. I mean, they'll be able to apply their individual strengths or individual what we say, like individual creativity or through their strength, and engage. So they engage through their debates. They will be able to argue. They'll have in a right way, ma'am. They'll have these abilities and be very responsible, that they will be able to do their work independently.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Shravanti. Yes, Kushi.
So here, like what ma'am has done is, in the Cambridge students are like they're confident thinkers, ma'am, here, and they were the who critically explore the ideas, and also they communicate their opinions and respect different viewpoint. Like they will take all the points from all the areas, and then they have their own critical exploring. They will explore their ideas and they communicate with that, and they come to one conclusion. And also they take responsibility for their learning, means getting sources from different areas. That is a responsibility. So like if they feel like I can get this information from all the areas, then they will get that information. They will set their goals, and also they collaborate with each other, and also they are mindful for their actions, also impact on their surroundings, how that their learning is impacting on their surroundings and the people also. Also, as reflective and innovative learners, they are adaptable and ready to tackle for the future challenges.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Yes, Garima.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, what I have understood, let's, like if some topic has been given to them, to Cambridge students, so first of all, they take it like, some research work has been given to them. So they are very open-minded to take that research. And then
Garima, actually here I just would like to clarify your misconception. It is not about Cambridge learners, okay? It is about every learner. First, what Cambridge says is the teacher must have these attributes. As a teacher, you should have these attributes, which in turn you will automatically imbibe in your students and develop these attributes among your students. You understood that? So it's not natural that the Cambridge learners have this. It is that attributes that we as teachers should develop. So the question here is, how are you developing in you, and in turn transferring these attributes to your students?
Okay. So for us also, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. So for us also, if whatever we are taking, if we are thinking, as if my children or my students are able to do it, that thing we will give it to them, and we try to find out that whether what the topic has been given to them, they are able to do it or not. If not, then we give them those type of resources, so that they will be little confident. Once they are confident, then they will take them as a responsibility to find out more resources.
Yes.
To get into that, in one sequence, what the research has been given or any work has been given to them. And once they are started getting that, then definitely they will start doing the reflection also, that what all they have collected till now, whether it is appropriate or not. If not, then again, they will go back and find out more resources. Once all these things are done, then they will start innovating also. Okay, now I have got this information, I can add or I can have my own views and ideas on that. And then they will start
Very true.
working. And then they will
Very
get
true. Yes.
engaged to that, and they will try to write the report or any presentation that they have to give. So all these things they will cater, and then they will try to put it in their own way, maybe onto PPT or the record or anything. And that's how the final result will come.
Very true. So when you're writing your reflection in your unit 3, you will have to emphasize on the fact how this course has developed Cambridge attributes in you. In turn, it has developed Cambridge attributes in your students. Okay. So this loop must be there in your assignment. Okay. That must be clearly mentioned in your assignment. So now let us see what are the things that you have to remember and identify during your EOL or EOR in this course. That is, you have first you plan, that is your lesson plan, you teach, okay, you see that learning is happening and assessment is happening. So let us see what are the things that you have to see under planning. Okay, under planning. Alicia, can you read what is given under planning? Your checklist, okay? This is your checklist. Please remember that. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Have clearly stated aims and objectives to the purpose of the lesson.
Did your lesson, it starts with did your lesson have clearly stated, okay? Yeah.
Your lesson has clearly stated aims and objectives, so the purpose of the lesson was apparent. Did your lesson have a coherent structure? Did your lesson show well-defined links to previous learning and the learning objectives or outcomes? Did your lesson show a variety of teaching and learning activities that were mainly based on active learning approaches? Did your lesson show teaching and learning activities that were sometimes differentiated? Did your lesson show a variety of formative assessment methods that were used to support and monitor the students' learning throughout the lesson? Did your lesson show a range of resources used to support both learning and teaching?
Very true. Very true. Can I ask Revati, can you read next one, teaching? Did the teacher? Manjari, I'll get back to your question once she finishes this.
But the teacher demonstrates sound subject knowledge and enthusiasm for the topic being taught. Did the teacher use mainly active learning approaches to facilitate student learning? Did the teacher communicate effectively when making presentations and giving classroom instructions? Did the teacher use effective questioning techniques that challenged and extended the students' learning? The teacher provides students with opportunities to reflect, think, and apply their learning. Did the teacher provide support to all students to make the learning inclusive? Did the teacher manage the lesson effectively so all the students were engaged and motivated to learn?
Very true. Very true. Yeah. Now, 1 minute. Okay. Manjari, you are already here, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I just got a message saying that you
No,
are.
no,
in the
that was
list.
long back, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just now
ma'am.
it popped up for me.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask you the same what you had just mentioned just a couple of minutes back, that these are the points we have to write it in Unit 3. Evidence of learning as well as reflection, just now whatever you showed. But the same thing is also there in Unit 2, ma'am, the similar, all these points.
It is not what you're mentioning in Unit 3. Now, this course is designed to achieve, you have to achieve these. So,
Okay.
now your outcome wise, when you're writing in your Unit 3, there is a question that comes, what is this course actually? Why did you take up this course, or why was this course beneficial for you? When that question comes, you have to pick out selective arguments from here and say that you have worked on these areas, and this has actually helped develop what attributes, or how it has developed the attributes among your children, and what is the feedback that your students have given when before you started this course and after you have completed this course.
Okay.
You got it? This is a cycle. So it's all interrelated there.
Okay. So, ma'am, can we mention, like, as a student of Cambridge, like, can I mention that part, like, or
Now, as a candidate for, see, remember, for Cambridge, you are not a student, you are the candidate who is taking
candidate?
the
Okay.
course. Yeah.
Okay.
So you will be writing that as a candidate who have done this course, I feel confident in this particular area and I was exposed to this, and I now understand why we have to do, because in my classes I saw this happening. Like that, you have to connect and write.
Okay. Okay. Understood, ma'am. Understood.
Yeah. Next. Sindhuri, can you do the learning part of it? Did the students?
Yes, ma'am. Did the students know and understand what was expected of them in the lesson? Did the students participate in activities that were mainly based on active learning approaches? Did the students have time to think and opportunities to apply new learning and ideas? Did the students participate in activities that were frequently differentiated to help meet their learning needs? Did the students participate in a range of activities where their learning was supported, challenged, and extended by the teacher and their peers? Did the students frequently contribute to the lessons using their existing learning and experiences and have opportunities to clarify any misunderstandings they had in their learning? Did the students participate in pair and group work to support each other's learning?
Very. Mokampika, can you read assessment part of it? Did the
Yes, ma'am.
students?
Did the students know and understand the learning outcomes to be achieved? Did the students have their existing learning checked before any new learning was developed? Did the students have their learning supported and monitored throughout the lesson using suitable formative assessment methods? Did the student have opportunities to assess their own and each other's learning? Did the students receive informative assessment feedback that was clear, helpful, and supportive? Did the students know and understand how their learning was progressing and what they needed to do to improve their future learning? Did the students have their future learning shaped using the outcomes of formative assessment?
Now you have read all the four, isn't it? Now you look at this entire course. Was there anything that was missed out here? Was there anything that has missed out?
Planning, teaching, learning, assessment. Ma'am, reflecting.
Ma'am, is that reflection?
No,
Reflection.
reflection, they have not written it directly, but they have mentioned. They have mentioned have opportunities to assess their own.
Each other's learning.
Did the students, okay, frequently contribute to the lesson using the existing learning experiences and have opportunities to clarify their misunderstandings they had in their learning? Okay, so all this, including metacognition, almost everything is covered in there. Okay, so in your entire course, if you look at in a nutshell, what you have actually applied in your classes is one of this, and that is the reason, remember, I keep on repeating in your feedback form, the first statement should be sharing of objectives, because if you look at everywhere, learn, know and understand what was expected of them in the lesson, and know and understand the learning outcomes to be achieved. So that is very important that you write that the teacher has shared the objectives, because in your unit 2, if you remember, the first question that you answer in your EOL is the difference between aim and objectives. So you have to mention that you are specifically sharing the objectives with the students. You have to mention that part, okay? So when you're writing your observation feedback in unit 2 and unit 3, not only that, even when you're doing your diploma, remember the objective sharing is very, very important and that must be mentioned. That is one. Then feedback is also important when you're looking at the lesson. So you have to provide, you have to ask students the feedback about the lesson, how the lesson was, what did they feel about the lesson, did they understand, did they find somewhere difficult? That part must and should be covered during your lessons. Okay. So next we are having a group discussion. Analyze the range of activities used in the sequence of lessons and judge this impact on your teaching that has had on your students. Okay, you can just have an idea of what is the different activities that you would be planning, or think about the lesson that you're currently doing. Okay, and think what impact does it have on your students learning. Now when we are saying sequence of lessons, it means that there should be a continuation from one period to another. That is what we are talking about, sequence of lessons. So you can discuss this in your group. So I'm just dividing you into two groups. Yeah. So 10:30, I will close the room. We'll have a break and then come back for discussion.
Ma'am, I was not able to join room 2. Welcome, ma'am.
Yes, Revati.
Ma'am, I was not able to join any of the rooms, ma'am, actually.
Which room did ma'am put?
Two, ma'am. Two.
Two. Okay, let me try.
Yeah, ma'am.
Parvin, you need to go into one of the room. Which room did ma'am put you in? Please unmute.
My net is unstable, ma'am. It's coming out. So just I came. I joined room 1, ma'am.
Okay, let me try. Join now.
It's 10:32. So 10:37, we will be joining back. Take a short break and come back. Yes, can come back. Yeah, now You can give your views on whatever you were discussing on the impact. Teachers, please come back. Yes. Others, please come back. Completed. I still don't see teachers back. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Manjari, Tehsil, Garima, Khushi, Chaitanya. Yes. Yeah, now you can present. Okay. Group 1, you can start. Group 1, Garima, Chaitanya, Manjari, Neelam, Parveen, Preeti, Shampa, Sinduri, Tehsin, Neena ma'am. Yeah.
Neelam, can you start?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the question was how that and impact of your teaching. So when I use my activities, my learners, they tend to have fun while doing the activities, and they themselves arrive at the conclusion. As a result, use the concepts, and they tend to remember the concept for a longer time.
Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am, added to this, it's basically the reinforcement of the concept what is being taught in the class, ma'am. So the activities help the learner to understand in a better manner, in the sense the reinforcement of the concept. And at the same time, few of the activities like exit card, ma'am, in most of my classes, what I use is exit card. Well, the closing of the concept or any lesson, ma'am, I found that, in fact, at that time also, it's the assessment of the concept, whatever they have learned. Like when we perform an activity, we need to assess the learner that whether they have understood the particular concept through an activity or not. So the exit card, gives a clear picture whether they have understood. Like the other day when I was taking an activity, I'll give you an example, ma'am. It was on the tenses. Okay, and later on followed by reported speech. So the learner, they wrote that the future perfect continuous tense they were not able to understand, and it was not clear. So in the next class, my plan is to again revisit the concept and probably followed by an activity. So couple of activities do help us to understand, and but the activity should be followed by an assessment. That is very important. Conducting an activity is not the only thing. It should be followed by an assessment for the learner, for us to understand whether the activity has been implemented properly or not, or the concept has been taught or
Okay,
not.
my question is, so
Ma'am,
when you
can I add,
conducted
ma'am?
that activity, just a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
When you conducted that activity of that future perfect tense that they were not able to understand,
Yes.
what did you actually expect, and why did you think that learning goal was not reached? That is what is judging the impact of your teaching.
I felt the reason, ma'am, on the exit card the children wrote, because I asked them, I asked them to write one part which they understood and one part which they did not like, one part which they liked about the entire class, one part which they did not like about the entire class. So the most of them wrote that the present and the past was very easy for them to understand, but the future tense was little difficult for them to understand, and they did not like the part. So when a part is not being liked, obviously that means that it was the concept probably they didn't understand thoroughly. So I thought of again revisiting, because they found it little difficult. They had written that we found it little difficult to understand. So probably again I have to revisit, and I have to probably simplify the concept in the next class.
Okay.
Ma'am, can
Yes,
this
Champa,
be
ma'am?
the reflection, like evidence of reflection? Can I write it in this?
No, you will have to refine it further. You will have to refine it further.
Okay.
1 minute, Parveen.
Yes,
Champa,
ma'am.
ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Including competitiveness in the 21st century skills, I think is one of the strands which we can add to make our classes interesting in terms of activities. When we divide a class into two groups, or we divide it in a certain thing, the strand of competitiveness builds up, and I think that in that way we achieve
Why do you want
metacognition.
competitiveness in today's world?
In
Do you
today's world,
really
because
think, why do you think competitive? See, one thing is, as far as I know, Cambridge does not prefer competitiveness.
okay. No, actually, when I gave in a class like food security of India, I was teaching, and like we were going into analyzing the different schemes taken by the government to achieve food security. We saw that ration card, which is one of the things that government has introduced, has certain shortcomings. So I told two groups to analyze how you can give a solution to this problem, where even a beggar on the street can get a ration card. So they came up, one group came up with an idea that this Aadhaar card that we have, why don't we include economic conditions of the people, and according to that issue ration cards. So they try to think out of the box when they know that they have to give a solution which will be accepted by all, and it will be like a bang on solution to the problem that has been given to them. Actually,
Ma'am, Champa ma'am,
my thing was
it's
wrong.
ironic, Champa ma'am, I would just,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but here,
No.
as we were talking about the economic situations of the poor people in the society, but ma'am, the fact is, those who are very rich, ma'am, they are having this ration card rather than the poor, those who are actually
That's
supposed to
the
have
solution
the
the students
ration card.
had to find out.
So
That's the
the
solution.
the government system.
Ma'am, let us not go into the details of the subject. We are
Details of
looking at
that.
impact.
No,
Impact of teaching and learning. Let us not go
Yes.
into all those areas. Okay.
And
Okay.
here actually it was not competition, ma'am. Actually,
Yes, ma'am.
I was wrong when I told it is competition. It is like the urge to give a solution which would be effective. So it is not competition. There I was wrong. Yes.
Parveen, yes, Parveen,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
were saying
Yes, ma'am.
something.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the question was like, whatever the activities we implement in the class, what impact it has on student learning. So I strongly feel, ma'am, it's a student, if the activities are student centered, obviously the impact will be positive, ma'am. But if it is not student centered, then we have to work on it. So I feel like, ma'am, if our activities are student centered, here we can see the learners will be having the cry, that is a confident learner, they'll become confident, they engage in whatever the activities, whatever the classroom activities we indulge, and they become they become very innovative, that is they are ready to face the new challenges and all. They become connected to the process in the next classes, because it's a continuous process. they groom their personality, and they own the things, whatever we are, it's a responsible, they become a very responsible, that is owning the things, ownership. So I strongly feel that the CRI can apply in the impact, ma'am, if the activities are student centered.
Okay, okay.
Am I
Very
right,
good.
ma'am?
Yes, you can.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank you.
it is also, ma'am, practice. It's whatever the concepts are being taught or whatever we are teaching them, it is a practice. So it's a continuous process.
That's what it is.
Continuous process. I would just like to continue what Manjari ma'am said here, ma'am. So it will have a long-term impact on students as they are preparing to face the real-world applications also. Activities, they help the students to develop skills and knowledge so that they can apply this in their real world also, ma'am, like real-world situations where they also will develop problem-solving skills and which also will inspire their curiosity and interest.
Like adding to this, ma'am, Tezin, ma'am, I would like to give an example, ma'am, Sudha, ma'am.
Manjari, I'm just putting a pause there because group 2 is pending. Group 2, yes, your views. Group 2.
Yes, ma'am. So as the group 1 spoke, ma'am, there are many range of activities, like they include hands-on activities, collaborative work, individual work, research-based work, and also many other one. So we are going to speak about individually, ma'am. So I'm talking about the hands-on activities, like hands-on activities like building models. It can be a math manipulator, art projects, STEM challenges, science experiments, and also where they can kinestic also, where they can move and place the objects or puzzles kind of things. These all activities boost their engagement, and also the students participate, like they feel like they enjoy in, like it's an interactive and a fun way of learning. So more also it will help them to think critically, problem solving, also troubleshooting during some like projects kind of thing. So hands-on activity improve collaboration also if it is a group activity with students, and also it develops teamwork skills and also individual things. More points my teacher will help explain.
Yeah. Ma'am, how we judge the impact, ma'am, on the students? Like as it was like pre-primary children or younger learners. So here, ma'am, we will be mostly concentrating on the development of cognitive, social, and motor skills, like fine motor and gross motor skills. So how will be judging them when they are actively engaged or they'll have a curiosity? Because hands-on activities are the best activities, ma'am, for the children, especially of young learners, not only young learners, for everyone, to engage them or to learn more. So, especially building blocks or puzzles and sorting activities, no, children will show very curious and they'll be very much actively engaged in these activities. Not only this, ma'am, like they'll have a deeper understanding of concepts. If we say through explanation, children may not show a continuous interest to listen it. So when we give these hands-on activities like shapes or colors or sizes or even in the grammar, nouns or pronouns, the children will have a deeper understanding about the concepts too. And also children will have these activities will improve their matching, or through matching and sequencing, they'll enhance their logical thinking too, ma'am. And if there is any mistakes, we can address them independently and correct their errors too.
Okay. Yes. Next person.
Ma'am, talking about group activities, ma'am, debate, projects, role play, or case studies, in that there is first and foremost is communication is being developed there, ma'am. There is communication developed. They also learn to, give and take constructive feedbacks, ma'am, when they actually work in pair. They're emotional. There is emotional development. They're very, very cautious about the outer, that's a social, ma'am. There's social development also, what is exactly happening outside. They do get an idea about it. And then of course, there is collaboration, there is problem solving. Their enthusiasm their self-confidence is boosted, ma'am. They become very confident. And they're ready to take up any challenge. Like, if they're ready to take up the constructive feedback, they try to, improve and then actually implement in their real life, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm here to talk about the research work, how the research work is having a good impact on the students. So, when we are giving any topic on research basis for the students to do, irrespective of the age and the grade, they will come up with their fresh ideas, like fresh perspective, how they can view the concept or how they can view their own problem, and they will bring up the new ideas, and they'll be looking enthusiastic and energetic levels because it's going to be more of student centric education because they got to know that they have been given importance and they are going to take the lead and they are going to do so. Of course, energy and enthusiastic levels will be increased. Skill sets, which is most important in nowadays education, like their skill set can be increased, like how to research, what is required, what not required. And these things, even though they have a little bit of negative impact, like time management is something like we have to take care, and knowledge gaps, they have to build that knowledge gap, like by taking some knowledge checks, and then we, as a mentor or as a facilitator, if we support them, I think they can achieve in research based, and this will bring a very good impact and positive changes in them.
Okay. Okay. Right. Anyone else
Yes,
from the
ma'am.
group?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Formative assessment.
Mokamika, you will be the last. You will be
Yes.
the last. Because your points are valid. Oh, Alicia is also there. Okay, she's raising. Okay. Okay. Yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am. Formative assessment is very much important in the activities, ma'am, wherein it impacts on the reflection and metacognition, which helps the learners to think about what they have learned in the previous and connecting to the new knowledge.
Okay. Yes.
And even it helps the learners to become active participants in the learning process, and they can improve the self-awareness and responsible.
Okay. Very
And
good.
providing immediate feedback and helps us to identify knowledge gaps and misconceptions, enabling timely. It has to be done consistently, not by giving some gap and again doing. Sometimes we are doing the formative assessment, and sometimes we are not doing the formative assessment. It doesn't work.
Very good. It has to be consistent. Very good.
Yes.
Right.
It helps the teachers to assess whether lesson goals are being met or not.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. That's
Yes,
it.
ma'am. I want to extend with the points, ma'am. With the formative assessment, we conduct at every level of the activities. I mean, during activities, we check the students with the formative assessment. That not only gives, let us understand the students' level, pace of learning. It even gives us chance to alter our lesson plan then and there, or for the further lesson plans also. It will give us a clear picture whether our objectives are being met or our aim will be achieved or not.
Very true. Very true. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So that's the end of the group sharing. So I'll just share the next activity. Now remember, your impact you have to mention on what skills you're planning to develop or to what extent that has developed among your students. That is actually the impact that you will be measuring. What changes should you bring in your teaching? Remember this article, OECD Teacher Matters. It has number of perspectives coming in. Please look only at improving the teaching so that to improve your students' learning. Okay. This is an individual activity because you will have to reflect based on that. What changes should you bring in your teaching? Are you able to access the article?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Right. Yes, you can start sharing. Yes, you can start putting your opinions. You need not wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, may I try?
Yes.
Ma'am, to bring in a change in students' learning, ma'am, first we should be the learners. We have to improve our profession. Ma'am, am I going wrong?
No, I don't see what you are mentioning in the document. I asked you to go through the document and then talk. Yes, Alicia.
Yes, ma'am. After going through the document, one thing I connected to my learning is I have to work on planning the differentiated activities for the class, ma'am.
Okay.
As they mentioned, multicultural class. I understood
Mm.
that, and even I have to focus on planning more formative assessment, which I have lacked in Unit 2. I have to work towards it, where I have to plan formative assessment and at every level, which is mentioned in the document also. Those 2 points I'm taking it, ma'am.
Okay. Now remember, Unit 3, whatever feedback you're going to collect, okay, if you're pursuing your diploma, that should be the base level for your Module 2. Okay, that is the reason we are asking you to look at very specific areas of development when you're looking at your Unit 3. Yes, Shravanti.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, we should learn to use the strategies, ma'am, so that we can make a different learning styles children also understand. And formative assessments always, as Alisha ma'am has told, we should incorporate the formative assessment at regular basis so that we'll get to know whether the child is able to understand or not, and make the changes in the lesson plan, ma'am, to meet the needs of the children accordingly.
Okay. Very true, right?
Which I have experienced in my unit 2, ma'am. Few children are not able to understand, few activities. But ma'am, as you told that these children are not able to give the feedback, no, when I asked them to, if you have understood the lesson, give a thumbs up. Everyone has given the thumbs up, ma'am.
Okay, okay. No, you can take that picture. See, one thing is, if a child is not able to do, doesn't mean that he or she has not understood. You may have to have a personal talk with the child. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, Manjari.
Ma'am, over here, after going through the document, please correct me if I'm wrong, ma'am. What I felt is it's all about the quality rather than quantity. So the teacher's quality matters rather than the quantity. I may be highly qualified with 10 degrees or 20 degrees. If I'm not able to make my students understand, then my degrees are all invalid. So I may have PhD, I may have many degrees, But at the end of the day, it is not the quantity. And of whatever we are also sometimes, in fact, ma'am, we go overboard. Like when we explain certain things in the class, we try to show our knowledge, we try to show our, how good we are with the subjects, and we go little overboard. But at the end of the day, the children, they are not able to grasp, because we are not going down to their level and trying to make them understand. So our degree has nothing to do with, I feel, but obviously, when we are being recruited, we need to have certain degrees. But it is not that at the end of the day, it is the passion which matters a lot, that I feel. That
Very true.
that is what my personal experience, ma'am. So degree, obviously, there should not be, I mean, we cannot
It is only for the entry level.
Entry level, but at the same time, I mean, if we are passionate about our teaching, then I think we can give quality to the students rather than quantity, because quantity here doesn't matter. It is the quality which matters.
I think no, we have that statement, isn't it? Don't teach your children what to learn.
Yes.
Teach
Absolutely.
them how to learn. That is what matters finally. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Shampa ma'am.
Ma'am, actually, through the document, we understood that there are challenges when we enter a class. Like in the entry point, we find that students of different abilities, attitudes, and background coming to the class. So we need to be more inclusive in our teaching learning methods. And as Manjari pointed out, that a class must be made attractive to all these types of learners, variation of learners that we have in our class. So accommodating these differences and initiating a healthy environment where everyone is responsive and is responsible for their concept learning or bridging their gaps, I think is one we need to do in a classroom. It doesn't matter.
Yes. True. That's true. Yes. You need to be, or as a teacher, we need to be aware of the cultural differences, and we need to be aware of the student background, so that our teaching becomes more inclusive of the needs of the students. Yes, Sharmila.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to only add a few points because most of the points being discussed. I have seen through the document and I found that the teachers, though they have to be the quality-wise teaching need to go, and also a teacher need to update themselves with new skills every year, or like periodically. Though we are entering with some degree, and as ma'am said, we have to come down for teaching student, and that's all. Yes, it need to be there, but updating us with the new skills is something very much important for this generation students. That one thing I understood.
Very
And
true.
differentiated instruction, which again in which I got as a feedback from my mentor in unit 2, differentiated instruction, as I need to pay more attention. And as I am dealing with mathematics, pacing is something like important, which I again need to focus on, because pacing is like some 60% of students are understanding and coming along with the speed of the teacher, and the remaining students were little bit lagging. So a support and guidance need to be given by the teacher for those students, so the proper knowledge check to be done. And yeah, these are all the things I think have to improve in my unit 3.
Very true.
And
Yes,
that was
Preeti
the
ma'am.
same point I was about to mention, ma'am. First, we need to learn ourselves and update ourselves is the point I want to mention at first.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Preeti ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. So most of the points were discussed, but I just want to repeat one or two, which is very important. One of them is like we have to ensure that we enhance our subject matter, like that content wise. We have to first be very confident, because students are nowadays are inquirers. Like, they will go beyond the textbook, beyond the content that they are learning, and they want to know a little bit more. So we should ensure that we are confident enough and having that much knowledge that we can can cater to the questions that they pose. As well as I feel that we have to build a very strong relationship between the student and the teacher. That is very important, because if we are approachable only, they will always ensure that, like, they come to us and ask question, and the learning and the teaching can be very effective, and we will see that the learning outcome is also better. Because previously, when I feel like when we were students, we used to hesitate to ask questions. So our questions would be always in our mind, and we would have a fear on the subject, which actually I always feel that is very important when we are sitting in the class. As well as one thing that is nowadays learning, may we have to always include technology. So we have to first be very, very clear and confident to use, so that it's not that only the same videos or same thing we are always following. So if we also upgrade ourselves in that field, we will be confident enough, because nowadays children are also very, very confident enough to use any sort of technology or any sort of tools or software tools and all. So we should keep on upgrading ourselves so that we can match to their level. That is what I felt, ma'am.
Very true, very true. Updating is very, very important. Otherwise, we will lag back and they will be ahead of us. Yes, Mookampika?
Yes, ma'am. The thing is that I need to adapt to two things, ma'am. Different teaching strategies to support the diverse learners, ma'am. That is one thing I need to adapt. And I need to provide scaffolding to help learners at varying level of readiness and ability.
Very true. Yes.
That two things my mentor has given me.
As your feedback? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Right. Next one. I'm just going, Manjari. I'm stopping you because
that I wanted to add one point with in regard with what Aarti ma'am said. Ma'am, only we can, I have seen in today's generation, especially this, over the years we have taught, but now especially this generation, we can only earn respect, ma'am, if we know about technology, that one. Because I have seen that, ma'am, if the teacher knows well versed with new technology, they really they get attracted and they really respect you a lot. So updating is very important, as Preeti ma'am, she mentioned.
yes. Update, not only updating, you should have tricks at hand. Okay, if you don't have tricks at hand, remember they are smarter than you. Okay, they know different ways of actually taking you to task. Yes. So let us just move ahead with the next topic. Now, when we look at teacher development, we need to have someone to tell us that this area should be developed. So already some of you have told that mentor actually helps you to develop, but look at how exactly the spiral of learning goes. You learn, you apply something in your lesson plan, start teaching, then reflect, again learn, apply, teach, reflect. So you have an idea in your mind, that's your plan, then you apply it, teach it, reflect it. So this learning cycle should continue. When you look at your reflections of your teacher development, the most critical feedback that you will be getting is from your mentor. Okay, if you have a very good colleague, okay, who is really interested in your development, then that person can be the best person who can actually help you become a better teacher. And last is self-reflection. Remember, self-reflection, sometimes it's very good. Sometimes what happens, we start thinking that we are very good, so we need not develop much. Okay, so more than self-reflection, I would appreciate if you have a teacher, colleague, who's really critical every time, who's jealous of you. Okay, take them to your class, because remember, instead of your best friend, your best enemy is the best teacher. Okay, so you can take them to your class, ask them to visit your class, ask them to pinpoint the mistakes that you are making, and that will help you develop and become a better teacher over time. Okay, so please read through Readings of Reflective Teacher by Pollard. Okay, this book is very, very important. Andrew Pollard. Okay, it's on mostly on reflective teaching. Readings for reflective teaching. So you can read through that and then you can put your any one topic you take. Don't go into all, any one you pick. Okay, and you can read through and you can put your thoughts here. Any one small topic you can take. Remember, this entire book is about reflection. Like Manjari, you are looking at classroom management, you can take part on classroom management.
Yes, ma'am.
And see
Actually,
how you can improve. Yeah.
okay. I wanted to ask you, ma'am, the other day while this implementation of my lesson, unit 2, ma'am, lesson plan. So I introduced all the three types of tenses, like the present, past, as well as future. So two children, in fact, no, one child gave me the feedback, too much content was given. So that's why the child has given me 4 out of 5.
You can write that as your reflection.
Okay. So, ma'am, in my next...
You should write in your reflection that I really liked the child who was very open with me and said that I had given a heavy content.
That's what.
Okay, which they found it difficult to accept for one particular period. Now, remember, those things Cambridge really likes, because remember, the child is analyzing a teacher and giving a very positive feedback.
Okay.
That can be took.
Okay, in the next unit, ma'am, in unit 3, when I again plan for a lesson plan, so I have to implement this. What I
No, you will have to put it as an intended area of outcome, or in your reflection based on my unit 2, this one, I had seen that the content is within the time line and it's not exceeding the cognitive load for the student.
Okay, where do I mention this, ma'am?
It should come in your reflection.
It should come. Okay. So this is how I need to connect unit 2 with unit 3 like this.
That with mentor feedback also you will have to.
Okay.
Yes, you have to connect it.
Okay.
Student feedback, because you will connect it.
Yes.
Second is mentor feedback also, you will have to connect it and say that you have overcome that in unit 3.
Okay, understood, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a query, ma'am. Is it important to take the unit 2 which we have taught, unit 2 lesson plan, as a prior knowledge for unit 3, ma'am?
Not required.
Not required. Okay.
What is your mentor feedback is not on the subject content, isn't it? And please ensure that your mentor is not writing on your subject content. Okay, if that is the case, no, it means that no, you're not preparing your lesson and going and teaching.
No, ma'am, I
had
this query, ma'am, like...
No, it's not required.
Ma'am, one more thing I wanted to ask you, asking if the learners, if the students ask too many questions, so that comes under the classroom management, because that
Yes.
Okay, why? And I didn't understand why, ma'am. Like, why is it?
Because see, if they are asking too many questions, either they have not understood, or something has gone wrong when you are allocating the time for the area that you had not guessed the difficult area for the student. Your perception of difficulty and their understanding of difficulty has varied. So sometimes what happens, yes, they may not understand, it will be confusing. So if in that case, if they have doubts, how to handle it? How are you going to take that forward? That you should have a clarity on.
Okay, but we cannot tell them that I'll clarify. Obviously, we cannot tell them that next day we are going to clarify your doubts. It cannot be told. We have to clarify.
No, you will have to clarify there.
There. Okay.
So you will have to say that maybe my classes, that classroom process in that particular area was not very clear. So the students had doubts in that.
Okay.
So that comes as a feedback.
Okay.
Yes, Nukampika.
And do we need to connect the unit 2 lesson with unit 3 prior knowledge, ma'am?
No, that's what Alicia was telling. No, not required.
Not required.
Lesson is not required. But whatever mentor feedback is given, yes, that has to be connected. Not with prior knowledge, it has to be connected through the process of when you are implementing your unit 2. Yes, Preeti.
Ma'am, I had one query regarding Unit 3. I don't know, maybe I got it wrong. Ma'am, you had told that in the Unit 3, that particular lesson, we have to divide into 4 periods. Is that correct, or I got it wrong, ma'am? I'm not very
Yes,
good.
minimum of 4 periods, where first period you will write the lesson plan, which your mentor will observe. The other 3 periods, activities will be entered in the activity log.
Oh, okay, okay. So 1 lesson plan and 4 activities. You meant that, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Got it, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, Sharmila.
Ma'am, I got a feedback on pacing, ma'am, on how the lesson need to be done, and the feedback was something about pacing, like we need to move little bit, you have to move little bit slow, or like that they have given mentor, and even few students, very few students, they have given, we should have given some time, because I conducted the activity on simulation. So as they are quite attracted towards that thing, they want to do more. As the time limitation is there, I gave only one chance. So how to correct that, and
See,
why?
pacing, if the mentor has given, it will be not based on the time of the simulation. It will be maybe you are fast in some places where you will have to say that it has to be slowed down. And when it comes to students, you know that because simulation was an interesting activity, they are curious about it. Then you say that these type of activities, I will give it as homework so that they can take their time and they can complete it.
Okay,
You
where
understood?
do I have to mention this point, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
You have to mention it during a reflection. Unit 2 reflection, you have to mention. A mentor's part, you will have to take it up in your Unit 3 observation, this feedback also. But the student's part, you have to write it in your Unit 2 reflection.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
Ma'am, one question. The Unit 2, I have written for grade 7, the lesson plan. I have forwarded you and you have given some suggestions. I'll make that. Ma'am, Unit 3 ke liye, I have to use the same grade level, right?
Yes, same section, same set of students.
Same set of students, but it can be another lesson, right? Because
It
Unit
can
2.
be another lesson.
Yes. Another lesson. And ma'am, watching a video, visual this thing can be one of the activity, ma'am, where they have watched a
Yes,
video.
you can. You can have a video, but don't exceed more than 3 to 4 minutes in the class.
Okay.
Okay. If it's more than that, you will have to give it as a homework and conduct it as a flipped classroom.
Okay, but watching the video, I can add it as one of the activity in the
Activity,
log?
yes, you can. But along with that, you will have
Along
to
with
have some other activity that has
worksheet
to
or
be.
something,
Yes,
worksheet or some
yes.
quizzes and all. Okay, ma'am, done. Thank you.
So, ma'am, flipped classroom can be the part of Unit 3 lesson plan. Can I make it
Yes,
as
it can be. Yes, it can be.
completely flipped classroom?
Complete flipped classroom, again, it depends on what you're going to do. If it is total flip means, then you have to have number of activities related to that. Yeah, number of activities related to that flipped classroom for that lesson.
Okay. So, but I can show it, I mean, I can present that lesson plan that it's going to be like flipped classroom.
Yes, you can. You can tell that this particular prior knowledge itself, you mentioned that the following video is shared for the students to come watch it at home. And once they come into the class, this is what they'll be doing. That can be.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, so can we write like we used to write in brackets flip class? We will write like that?
Not required. They know that this is given as homework means it's a flipped class.
So we need not write.
Need not write. It is understood. See, one thing, all these know it is that they know it. If you use technology, it's blended learning, they know it. So it need not be explicitly mentioned there. If you want in your learning, you can evidence of learning, when you can write, I use flipped classroom, so and so reference, sharing a video. There you can mention in the theory part of it in your EOM.
Okay.
Ma'am, for Unit 3, no, ma'am, word wall activities, games we conduct, right, in the class. So that can be as an activity, ma'am, like we can
Yes,
include.
you can.
So in artifacts, how we'll be including this, ma'am? Like how we need to take the pictures of this?
See, the artifacts doesn't mean everything you're going to showcase, isn't it? Whatever is possible only you will be showcasing.
So activity, we need to take a picture, no ma'am, like this could not be done, right?
What your students did in the notebook, that you take as a picture, or what they have done it orally, record it and put it as an artifact.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, for the lesson 3 lesson plan, you told like one lesson plan out of 4 and 3 more activities we need to include, right? We need to add. For the first lesson plan itself, down we need to write it as activity 1, activity 2, or it's a different one.
Activity 1, you take it from the, don't write it as lesson plan or activity 1. From the lesson plan you have implemented, your mentor observed one activity.
Yes.
The consecutive days activity will be the second, third and fourth activity you mentioned in the activity log.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, please read through this, no, readings of reflective teaching. If you have done, you can share your thoughts. Yes, you can share your thoughts, whatever reading you have done.
Can I try?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, regarding this, ma'am, first one I would like to say is when they share their experience, I get a very fresh, no, new perspective to my thinking, ma'am. When I happen to interact with the mentor, is that the way, like, is it the question? I mean, I don't know if I'm right, going on a right track, ma'am.
I've asked you to look at readings of reflective teaching, how these reflections, so what has your mentor told and how do you think that is actually helping you to improve?
Okay. I do get constructive feedbacks, ma'am, criticisms, which will help. Like if for example, if there is an observer who is coming to my class and they find what I might feel my classroom is all going fine, but all of a sudden I get to know there is little disengagement that is happening in the class, and I get to know and I try to actually improve and further I understand what is being going wrong. So what I felt right was going wrong when I get to interact with the mentor, ma'am, later on. And as I said, I also get a fresh new perspective to whatever I mean the mentor is actually trying to tell me. It will only try to, how do I say? It will challenges, ma'am. I'll be facing more challenges when I actually interact with my mentor more, because I will get to know where is my shortcomings there, what is exactly I have to improve on. I will start working on it actually, the challenges that is put forth. And I also wrote that there is reassurance, ma'am. When I speak with a mentor, there is reassurance this can be done this way, not this way. There is reassurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Challenges can be this thing. Mm, what else, ma'am? I was, that's it, ma'am. I just want to share this much.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, when I interacted with my mentor after the second unit lesson implementation, ma'am, there are 3 points which I got to know. First was the content. As the child also pointed out, the content was too much heavy for them to take it. So what I understood, in fact, looking back, ma'am, that probably I only thought about, the students, those who were able to grasp very quickly. What about the other students, those who were not able to grasp very quickly? So probably my planning should have been like, to cater to all the, all the levels of the students rather than only one level of the students. So that I found was missing when I implemented. So in the next unit, I'm going to work on that part. This was my mentor's feedback. And the second thing was the time, ma'am. I couldn't complete whatever I had planned. I couldn't complete with the stipulated time period. 40 minutes was allotted. Probably again, there was too much of content for me to deliver. So as a result, too many activities, too much of content. So somehow probably that 40 minutes ka planning should have been little more tight, what I felt.
Okay, okay.
So that part was missing. I felt that.
Okay. Yes, Sharmila.
Yes, ma'am. This is like when I asked my mentor to observe my class. Generally, when I'm teaching the classrooms at the end of the session, like everyone, even I used to ask how was today's class. Everyone understood. Like orally, they will say yes, we understood. Yes, but now when I hand over the feedback strip, like same way only how I used to take my class, I took. But the comments and the feedback from the students is like quite surprising. Okay, they I told them like you have to give me a specific feedback of how the lesson. So they started giving something very specifically, like few students, which even I didn't expect. Then I understood, okay, in every class, why don't I implement this feedback strip so that I can get the very specific feedback. I found that because orally, if I'm asking, they will all say yes, we understood. It became a casual answer. Like I don't know for others, it for me in my class it become very quite casual answers. But if I ask them to specify it in sticky note, then they started giving, you should have give us more time, you should have explained us more clearly, or you should have done this. So I understood they didn't use particular term like prior knowledge check, but I understood I should have implemented that prior knowledge check even on simulation. That is one thing. And when my mentor is giving the feedback like differentiated instruction, again I thought I was applying that. But when other person when my mentor is giving a feedback, I understood that very clearly. Okay, I didn't achieve it completely for all set of students. That is a one learning. And now I am working on myself, like how to do it. Now even I am doing recap on all my sessions, like self reflection I am doing every day after the unit 2 like implementation. Till now I am doing like, okay, did I done well, did I was able to go with the pacing, I was able to do the differentiated instruction each class. I started thinking and I am reworking on all my teaching and everything. So this is actually helped me a lot to understand about my own teaching, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. So yes, Khushi.
Yes, ma'am. Like from my mentor, like when I got the feedback as like I need to give independent time pace was there one of that, ma'am. So I have taken like next time I'm going to reduce the work so that I can give more time to them. Also, like students came up and they asked like when the activity was done, they understood it, but they want to try it in the form of as a play. It's an online, so they requested for homework kind of thing, like where they want a game on prepositions. So I told, okay, I'll plan for it. Also, like what I felt was like they want some clue. Usually, I will give some clue as you gave now, ma'am, like cry and all. I usually give them some word to remember them. So they asked him, can you give some suggestion or can you give some clue to remember this, like how we used? Then I understood that maybe I would have included a song kind of thing, like rhyme kind of thing, where they can remember the prepositions easily. So this is what I understood from my so these from student feedback, I understood I have to implement these two.
Very true. Now you're all talking about a mentor. I want someone to talk about a colleague who has actually helped you. I'm not going to give chance for those who have spoken already. Those who have not spoken, for them I'm going to give. Chaitanya, can you tell about an experienced colleague? Shravanti, I told you I'm lowering your hand because no, I do not want the same person to talk. Chaitanya, yes, Chaitanya.
Yes, ma'am. It's not a recent thing, like 1 month back. once I have joined this course, actually I used to have a lot of doubts. So every time troubling my mentor is not good. So I used to ask my colleague, one of my colleague, to sit in my class whenever she is free and tell me what corrections I should make. I used to tell her, like I gave that copy for her also, ma'am, that manual module guide. You just go through that. She said, like, whenever I'm free, I'll go through that. And she understood, like, what are the learning outcomes, what we have to learn from the course. And I'm able to do all that in the lesson, like class or not. She used to observe me regularly. So one day she told me, so there are many learning outcomes here. A few you are following, but yeah, I know that active learning you are concentrating, but every time you are concentrating what activities you should do, what activities you should do, and you want to do something different. So you are thinking very beyond. I think you are ignoring little bit about the students, whether really they want that activity for learning that topic or not, but you are trying to inculcate everything in that form. So I realized, really, am I doing that? And I recollected everything, what activities I have done for which topics. Then really, I felt really I have done some funny thing, like doing all activities, only concentrating on that, nothing more than that. After that, even these classes also helped me, ma'am, like taking feedback from the students. Really, it is a wonderful thing where I have learned many things, like what troubles they have. I got some compliments also, and something which I should change. Really, while speaking also, I'll speak fast, and while teaching also, I'll do the same. Like higher grade students only, but some new topics will be little bit difficult, no, ma'am. So what will happen? I used to go very fast. So those things and all in the feedback I came to know. And from my colleague also, she helped me a lot. And when I'm doing some whether learners are receiving what I'm telling or not, everything she used to observe very keenly. And on every class, she used to give some written feedback instead of telling to me orally. So that it really, it's a very good thing I have initiated through my colleague, and she helped me a lot, ma'am. One thing I have changed from her, taking from her feedback is, first thing is collecting feedback from the students. Even from course, I have learned that. But before itself, she told me, give one slips like that so that they will write and they will give it. So better than me observing, from everyone, you will get the feedback. And the second thing is, wherever it is appropriate, use the activity there only. Don't go for same kind of activities. They will lose the interest, and try from variety things like differentiation, how we have learned from this. Like that, she gave me a lot of tips, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Yes. Anything else? Anything else? I think you should be inviting more of your colleagues to your classes. Yes, peer observation is more beneficial. Many of you don't know that part, I think so. Yes, Alicia.
Yeah, ma'am. We have the peer observations, which is mandatory actually. So I had my English colleague in my class, and she suggested me during my first days of the school with Cambridge curriculum. She suggested me that instead of doing the hands-on activities, we can go with the digital activities, which can help us in time management of that particular topic, for especially grammar. So that helped me, and I used that feedback and inculcated more in the further, ma'am. But still, I have to work on planning activities. I'm lacking there with the time.
Yeah, any other? So I'll give you one from my experience. You think about it. When I was doing my diploma, that is last year for grade 10, I was actually basically a science person. For the first time, I was dealing social in a class. So when I was dealing social, initially the geography topic of resources and development, I gave them a research paper. Okay, you can imagine what would have happened. It was a simple paper. It was on United Nations Sustainable Development on Resources. So no, I expected them to read, understand, and give me the answer. To my surprise, what happened was they looked at the diagram and they were only talking about the diagram, that pictorial presentation that was there. So when I asked my colleagues what happened, Okay, because I did not ask my mentor to observe that class, because diploma 2 classes only mentor should observe. So when my colleagues, they were in the class and they said to me that, remember the research paper, they are not used to that type of a language. They are used to reading textbooks, but if you look at a research paper, there are so many numbers, so many names given in brackets. There is no continuity of sentences which a class, a school student will recognize. It was a simple one, isn't it? Yes, we think it is very simple. For a child, what happens when they see those bracket names, numbers and all that, they get confused and they were not able to link these sentences. So because she was sitting in the classroom, she was able to identify, they are getting stuck with that and they were not able to proceed further in understanding the sentences, though it was a simple language that it was given in. So then I realized, and what I started doing is started editing research papers before giving it to my students for study. Okay, they remember a child, these are small things that we may not notice. But when a colleague sits in your class during group work and all that, they start noticing these minute things that happens which are distractors during your teaching learning process. Okay, so that is how I understood that they are more attracted to images that are there. A cyclic diagram of resource utilization was very comfortable rather than reading the passage, connecting those in sequences. Now you're all exposed to research papers, isn't it? Yes. But imagine first time if you've given a research paper, will you be interested in reading them? The same thing happened with children, which I was not aware of. Okay, but it was a colleague who pointed out to me they are getting stuck when they are reading it, and she was an English teacher who told me if there is a textbook sentence type, they will prefer to read where there are numbers, superscript and brackets, there are names written. They are getting confused why those names are there. What is the relevance to this article? Yes. So this was a very specific feedback that I got from a colleague. Remember, it was not negative. That time also I was principal, she was a teacher. But I was ready to accept from the colleague, and I understood if I have to give a research paper to the child, I'll have to remove all these extra things from the paper. Got it? Now, this is where your feedbacks will be very, very helpful when you are looking at a quality teaching, as Manjari said, instead of quantity, a quality teaching that we are looking at. These are all small things. Okay, we may ignore these. But these are also distractors which are actually not allowing the child to focus on the learning part. Yes, Manjari.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, one of my students, so before, in fact, when I was actually initially joined this course, so I have this problem of completion of the portion. So I always, and because being an English teacher, we are always, I feel that there's too much for me to discuss. So then I did ask my students that, why am I not able to complete the portion? Can you tell me? Because sometimes it happens, ma'am, it's better to let the other person say why I'm not able to complete. So 2-3 students told me that, ma'am, you tend to get diverted from the topic. So from then on, ma'am, because as an English teacher, we have so many things to discuss. So there's a one topic, especially in literature, what happens about the character analysis or anything to be given as an example. So as teachers, we get carried away and we get diverted from the topic. So even I asked a solution also. In fact, I told them, okay, then how can I come back to the topic? So then they told, ma'am, any topic which is being discussed more than 2 minutes, ma'am, cut it there. You come back again to the main topic. So that's what I have implemented in my class now. So it's slightly better. In fact, now I don't get diverted. And the moment I see that, because there are few children, those who want to divert the topic. So even I used to get carried away with them, and then I used to get diverted. But now I count and then I come back to the main topic and I tell them we'll have the discussion later on.
That's good. That's good. So when we look at impact, how exactly your teaching and learning has impacted, okay, The different ways in which you can measure is, one is your results from standard tests, that is your exams that you have conducted. Classroom observation can be an effective way, collecting feedback, student surveys. This must and should be connected for unit 3. Yeah? How your teaching has changed from before you started this course and after this course, that is after your unit 3 final activity log activity that you're conducting, you will have to collect this feedback from your students. So student surveys provide feedback on student engagement, on which which will actually help you understand the effectiveness of your teaching. Clear? Okay. Now earlier we have seen that how to discuss or how to develop Cambridge attributes as an individual activity. Now imagine that all of you have developed Cambridge attributes. Now you will have to think on how to develop these attributes among your students. Okay, I'm just sharing this. Just a minute. So I'll divide you into 2 groups. Now it's 11:44. So I'll give you 15 minutes time. You can take 5 minutes break and come back. So join the rooms and you can start your discussion. 12 sharp, I will stop.
Parvin, you didn't join any room? Parvin, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm there. I'm
You're
joining.
not there in any room.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm going. किधर है?
You got the message?
So we'll start with room 2. Room 2, you can present your findings.
Yes, ma'am. Cambridge attributes have 5 core attributes, ma'am. Confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, and engaged. These attributes not only help learners succeed academically, but also prepare them for future challenges.
Okay.
And here, the first one, I'm going to take the first core things, that confident learners. How to make the learners confident? By encouraging them in the active participation and giving learners opportunities to speak up and ask questions and engage them with the content. And we have to give the positive reinforcement and constructive criticism, which helps them to build their self-esteem. And we should make sure that the whatever feedback we are giving, it should be specific and emphasizes their growth.
Very good. Okay.
And we should recognize both small and big achievements, which helps the learners to build their confidence.
Okay. Yes.
And we should create a safe and supportive environment, which ensures that they feel comfortable by making mistakes and learning from them.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. One more, ma'am. From my group, one more is.
Who's taking up the next attribute? Responsible or reflective?
Ma'am, can I tell the responsibility, ma'am?
Okay. Yeah.
I'll tell them the goals, ma'am. Set goal setting first. Next is the providing opportunities. I will provide them also, like I will assign them classroom jobs, ma'am. So one can do the organizing materials when there is an activity happening. One can come up with, leading the warm up activities as such. Third one is the journals, ma'am, reflective journals. Learning journals, reflective journals, where I ask the students to reflect on what is well, so they understand what did they learn actually, and what challenges did they face during the activity, what was happening in the class. Then I will also assign, as I said, ma'am, each and every child is getting a responsibility. They're like, this is to be done, this is expected from you. I tell my expectation and I also expect that from them. And this will actually develop them to be, develop their skills wherein they become more responsible.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. The third one is reflective attributes, ma'am, as a Cambridge learners and also as a teachers, ma'am. So as a learners, here the Cambridge learners develop their ability, ma'am, to learn by understanding themselves as a learner and also focus on both the process and the outcomes of learning, ma'am. So here the learner should be aware that the learners will reflect on how they approach the task, including the strategies, ma'am, methods, and the discussion making the process. So they consider which strategy should work best for them and adopt accordingly. So we should work accordingly, which is working good. And the next one is the learner should evaluate the quality of the final work, ma'am, the product, and while also analyzing how they have been achieved during this process. And they should seek the improvement. So both their understanding as well as the application of the concept too. And through this reflection, ma'am, the learners will identify their strengths, ma'am, weakness, and also the areas for the improvement so that it will be foster their independence and then also the adaptability. And they develop the habits such as like setting goals, self-assessing, and also seeking the feedback, ma'am, which will prepare them for the lifelong learning. And also the metacognitive practices, ma'am, like the learner should engage in the self-questioning, like what I have learned, how did I learn it, how could I do it differently. So this makes the child, the learners, to think differently and maintain the learning logs, ma'am, or journals, to just go through this reflection as a process to know that or to track their progress too.
Okay.
And as a teachers, reflective Cambridge teachers as a teachers. So here the teachers should reflect on their practices, ma'am, and evaluate the effectiveness of their teaching strategies. And they
Very
should seek
true.
the opportunities for professional development, like workshops, courses, and peer collaboration. We should learn from them. And also the teacher should explore the new theories, methodologies, and also the resources, ma'am, to inform their practices, like to improve our practices. And also, ma'am, after implementing the strategies, the teachers should assess their impact on the students. We should assess, evaluate ourselves, like how it was impacting the students, not just going with our strategies. We should also know how it is impacting, whether it is useful or not useful for the student. And based on these
Okay,
outcomes,
I'll
ma'am,
stop here, Shravanti. I'll stop here. We'll go to the next person. Please
Yes.
limit your time. Yeah.
Okay.
Innovative.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am. We'll talk about innovative. I'll directly come to the point how this innovation aligning with the Cambridge focus on nurturing innovative learners. I design an open-ended task that promote inquiry-based learning to stimulate creativity and problem solving. So, open-ended questions allow students to explore the multiple solutions rather than converging on a single correct answer. So here, for example, instead of asking the students to summarize a text, I might challenge them to create an alternative ending or propose a good solution to the problem. So this encourages the original thinking and the ability to approach problems in various angles. And in the meanwhile, Cambridge emphasizes the importance of integrating global perspectives. That is what we learn from this, Cambridge. They always try to integrate the global perspectives and cross-disciplinary skills. So this inquiry-based supports the innovation by placing the students at the center of their learning. And rather than simply providing the information, I pose a thought-provoking questions that require investigation and critical thinking. So which combines the creativity, research, and problem solving.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be
Last,
telling about that.
engaged. Yeah.
I'll be telling about the attribute engaged. So, with this, by learning this, by inculcating this attribute, children will be developing developing the habit of curiosity. They'll be curious to learn things and the spirit of inquiry, and the wanting to learn more, ma'am. So with
Okay.
all these things, they will be having, obviously, they'll get the point to participate in everything they see. This will, this can be encouraged from the school level by giving them a few role plays, group discussions where they will be given, they will be taken the chance to speak and get engaged in the activities.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's it about the Cambridge attributes?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us go to group 1.
Ma'am.
We have one more thing, ma'am. Significant developments in our own profession.
That's what I asked, no? Okay.
Khushi, ma'am, would you like to start?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. During this course, firstly, we learned many new terms which I was not which I was unaware, to be frank. And this course has made us to break our like learning part as if so that we can take it into bits and bytes. Like this was really helpful for us in planning the things. So I'm going to talk about the lesson plan, how it helped us. So Cambridge course, it provided us a structured approach of lesson planning. They have given many tools which we need to to use them to create it effectively and engagingly and make the student centered lesson. And it also emphasizes as with clear learning outcomes. And also I learned like formative assessment. It was really awesome. Formative assessment, how we need to approach the students and at each point of the lesson plan. Also, we have learned like differentiated learning to have a different to connect with all kind of learners, how we can approach them with different learning activities, and that too with managing the time.
So this course really made us responsive to students' needs. It empowered us, like it promoted us to think deeply, critical thinking, and also like it is like holistic growth for all the students. Because lesson plan is a main key for a teacher, where that lesson plan, that 40 minutes or 45 minutes will make the students reach out. So that bits and pieces where we have to engage every minute of the lesson, and with the reflection really made us with the theory. Actually we don't know about those theories. I don't know about those theories. Those are really very helpful, the terms, and also when we were going through it, that was really helpful. So we learned many terms, we learned theories, and how we can break out in that lesson plan, what I have learned.
Right. Now
I
I'm
would
just
like to just
stopping one. Yeah, because now I have to finish off. Yes, Aarti, something you want
Can
to say?
I add one point?
Yes, please.
जी मैम, क्या मैं हिंदी में बोल सकती हूँ?
या आप हिंदी में बोलिए।
जी मैम, कैम्ब्रिज के क्लासेस के बाद में जो चेंजेस है मैम, उसके बारे में बोलना है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है, पहले मैं ऐसे पढ़ाती थी कि पहले जो मुझे आता था सिर्फ मैं वही पढ़ाती थी स्टूडेंट्स को, ऐसा लगता है मैम। लेकिन कैम्ब्रिज के क्लासेस के बाद में मैं ऐसे पढ़ाती हूँ जैसे बच्चों को किस वे में समझ में आएगा। जैसे मैं साक्षात्कार, ईमेल या व्याकरण लेती हूँ, तो उस समय मैं क्या करती हूँ, उसको कैसे एक्टिविटी बेस्ड ले जाकर या लेसन प्लान को मैं कितना इफेक्टिवली बना सकती हूँ, ये सारी चीजें देखते हुए पढ़ाती हूँ मैम। सो ये चेंजेस मेरे लेसन प्लान में और कैम्ब्रिज के क्लासेस के बाद मुझ में आए हैं मैम।
Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Now let's go to group 1. Group 1 we'll quickly have.
Yes, ma'am.
Group 1.
I will start with the first attribute, ma'am, that is confident. To develop confidence in learners, ma'am, firstly, we should be giving a good motivation, ma'am. As we have discussed earlier, motivation plays an important role for the learners to develop further. For this, we can give a comfortable and like a supportive classroom, ma'am, for the learners to show up themselves, and encourage them to speak in the class through presentations or discussions, whatever it may be, and also provide like individual opportunities to be given, where the teacher should always try to celebrate the achievements of small achievement, whether it is small or big. The like achievements could be appreciated, which boosts the confidence in the learners. And also we should make sure the activities which we are planning should be gradually increase with the complexity, ma'am, because if the complexity of the activity is high in the first activity itself, the learners may lose interest.
Very
Yes.
true.
So the complexity also should be based on all the learners in the class, and it should be increased gradually to grab their attention. Once it was grabbed, automatically the confidence in the child will be increased. And also a peer support should be given, ma'am, where the learners can help each other and support each other to build confidence.
Okay. Very good. Yes. Anyone else? One. Group 1. Anyone else? Sir? Okay. There is one more point I would like to mention here is certain terms we use it very casually, like just now Sindhuri was saying, just because she told it, I remembered it, because it comes in your assignment also. Grab your attention. Please don't write that when you're writing your assignment. Grabbing the student's attention. Okay. You bring words like focus. Okay. Okay. Mindfully bringing them to the class. Use better language. And please be mindful of your spellings and grammar, because there are mistakes which is not considered considered for the candidate who is supposed to be pursuing this post. Okay, grammatical errors, spelling mistakes, which is taken very casually. So install some grammar checking tools in your writing in your documents also, because generally if you're using Microsoft Word, you have an auto grammar check. If you're using it in the Drive, you can use Gramify or any other app installed so that it will tell you the errors that it makes. Please follow UK spellings. Do not set your system to US spellings. Analyze has an S, not a Z. Okay. So these things, please do take care when you are submitting your assignments. Do not use very casual words. Okay. Please make a note of it, because I've seen this multiple times, grabbing the attention of the students. Okay. Please don't write that. Okay. So this developing Cambridge attributes. So in your reflection, you should review the Cambridge learner and teacher attributes, explain how they are being developed in your professional practice. Reference should be made to each of the 5 attributes: confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, and engaged. Cambridge introduced these attributes in recognition of the fact that in order to be successful in completing Cambridge qualification and then in higher education and modern world of work, students need to demonstrate these habits in their learning. Okay, so it is a must that all of you must write about these attributes in your final, that is Unit 3, evidence of reflection. So next is the checklist. Okay, please do check for plagiarism. Do not, I'm again repeating, if you're using exemplar, do not even try to take quotes that are mentioned in the exemplar. That also comes under plagiarism. Do not try to copy anything from exemplar. Exemplar is purely for reference, and do not frequently read your exemplar, because your mind will be stuck onto those words and you'll try to put those words here. And again, it will result in plagiarism.
What about module?
Okay.
The
Module guide you can. Module guide you can. Exemplars should not be used consistently. Okay. Once you have referred, get back to your work, start working on it. Okay. Next is check with your assessment criteria whether you're fulfilling all the conditions that are required for the assessment criteria. Now, when you're checking with your assessment criteria, the major part is check with your key questions whether you have answered all the key questions. So that is why I tell all of you, first answer the key questions in parts and bits and pieces. Then read it and connect it and make paragraphs. That becomes more easier. Okay, after writing, you think of connecting to key questions, it's not going to work out. You answer it in bits and pieces and then connect it, you will get a paragraph where you, and you will know where to make what connections. Okay, go through your candidate guide. Candidate guide is already shared with you. How to rename your files, it's mentioned there. You will have to put those names only. E-portfolio, next, the 19th session that we are going to conduct, I will tell you how to name in e-portfolio, because I think by the time Chaitanya will finish, I will show with her portfolio how exactly it has to be named, how you have to upload, what you have to do. I will tell you it. That first page, you will have to enter candidate requirements, educational background. Okay, that should not cross more than 100 to 110 words. Don't delete the questions. Again here, answer the questions first. Okay, please leave the questions as such. Once we have finally approved, then we can delete the questions. Don't touch the questions till then. Order of uploading for page 2, evidence of practice, that is your unit 1, evidence of practice, experienced teachers lesson plan, then observation visit, then EOL, separately references, EOR, separately references, finally artifacts. Page 3, again, EOP is first, that is lesson plan, observation feedback next, then EOL, separately references, EOR, separately references, finally artifacts. The last unit 3, EOP. All your EOP should be in the form of PDF. Okay, do not upload it in the form of Word document. Upload it in the form of PDF. Lesson plan, then log, observation feedback, then EOL, references, EOR, references, finally artifacts. Okay, this is the order that you will be going through. And please do check your module guide whenever you're writing or evidence of learning and reflection, because many of you are not doing it. That is the reason you're getting your review back. Okay, I'm asking you to again go through. And one minute, when you're writing also, see, for example, you have prior knowledge, coherency, formative assessments. Don't write prior knowledge for 2 paragraphs and last 1 paragraph write about coherency and formative assessments. That doesn't work out. Okay, there should be an equal division of content. Okay, unit 1 also, do not write only about theories till the end, and metacognition is left out, motivation is left out, and assessments are left out. Okay, that should not happen. Please see that. Yes, Manjari? Oh, you're on mute.
Yes, ma'am. Unit 2 in evidence of learning, ma'am. There are many questions in the module guide which have been repeated again. So we
Yes.
we are going to write only once only, right? We are not going to write it again and again, like.
Unit 2, many questions are repeated.
Yes, ma'am. There are a couple of questions, you know, the same, the whatever concept they have asked is a similar concept. So we don't.
You have to write it based on what you read, what is given below. That is different. See, there are analyze the key features all the way. But each time you read into the content, the presentation has to differ.
But there are many questions, ma'am. Then we are actually.
No many questions.
If you can can I share the module guide, ma'am, once over here?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Because I'm a little confused with this. 1 second, ma'am. Just 1 second, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is the module guide. 1 second. Yes, ma'am. I'll just share it over here.
You're talking of unit 2, right?
Unit 2, ma'am. Unit 2 over here. See, ma'am, over here, unit 2 begins. Unit 2, ma'am. Over here.
Okay.
Unit 2. So these are the key questions. So, ma'am, why should new learning be built upon students existing? So there are many like this again and again. They are asking couple of questions.
No, it is not. It is not. You see, each question is different. I'll read out the questions. You see, for unit 2, the questions are: why is lesson planning important part of teacher's role? What is the difference between aim and objective? Why must a lesson plan have clear aims and objectives? What is the basic structure of coherent lesson plan? How does clear aims and objectives and sharing them with students help develop metacognitive skills? This is for one objective outcome. Next is, why should new learning be built upon existing learning? What active learning approaches to teaching and learning help to engage and motivate students to learn? How do selection, design and use of resources enhance learning, engage and motivate students to learn? What questions can students ask themselves at the beginning, during and end of the given task or activity? There is no similarity there. Now let us go to the third one. What advantages and limitations of commonly used formative assessment methods used by teachers in their classroom practice? Why is it important to check students' learning at different stages of the lesson? What strategies do teachers use to make classroom questioning effective? Why must students be provided with opportunities to show their thinking and progress in learning? So there is no similarity there.
Ma'am, but when we are writing the answers, ma'am, like when I'm writing the answers, I'm repeating in couple of questions. Then that's what I'm not able to understand.
No, you will have to change that is why I said read, understand. And first, that's why I told you to write the answers, then you can merge it into paragraphs.
I wrote, ma'am, it's almost 1200 words. Like 1200 words, I got this all the questions when I had to answer 1200, then I didn't know how to reduce it, ma'am. That's what I'm
See,
facing.
that now
Ma'am,
you're telling
same
no,
thing
some are
even it's happening
overlapping.
with me, ma'am.
See, say you know that some are overlapping. Those areas you should reduce it.
Okay.
Now you are saying no, some things are overlapping. Mark it in red and remove it, and where it only write it once. When you
Okay.
know that the same sentences are coming again and again, don't repeat that.
Okay, then because it's taking a little more of time, ma'am. We are reducing it to
It will take. See, one thing I'll tell you, generally before submitting itself, you should have completed at least 5 times your review of your writing. Minimum is 5. See, after completing writing, every day for 1 week, morning, first time I look at the this one and I delete it, whatever I feel is not. And after 1 week only, I submit it to the person, the trainer
Okay.
who has to correct it.
Okay.
Because when you do it, remember every day you're not going to get the idea. One day, one at a time you sit, you're not going to get. Every day you have to do, then you will get that idea of reducing. Okay. Yes, Neelam? Neelam.
Ma'am, I have a doubt here. Sorry, my internet is lagging, ma'am. Like in a module guide, there are 2 questions for evidence of learning, guidance for summative assessment. So do we need to write those questions or before that also every question?
Key questions. Only see that questions will automatically be answered when you follow the key questions. Only thing is there are certain things that are given there, like you have to mention at least 3 theories or 3 activities that you have written. That you have to check whether you are guiding or not. In order to answer those main questions only, you have these key questions which are guiding questions towards that answer.
Okay, ma'am, because in the question it is only written about aims and objectives. It is
Yes.
not written about lesson plan. But
it is there. Where do you use your aims and objectives?
Lesson plan.
In lesson plan, but
that is the reason they have given it like that.
So I just differentiated between aims and objectives, but I did not write about the lesson plan. So I was a little confused.
See, otherwise, no, everything will be easy, isn't it?
Ma'am, in unit 2 also, ma'am. In unit 2, ma'am, evidence of learning, there's one part where we had to give like the lesson plan, the introduction, the middle part, as well as conclusion we had to write. So in unit 2, this one, the evidence of learning. So each section, ma'am, they have written the first section. Do we have to again connect with the learning theory in the lesson plan? Like
the lesson plan, don't do it. In your evidence of learning.
Evidence of learning only. So they have written this one question over there, ma'am, in evidence of learning. We have to describe like how are you going to conduct, the first section, the middle section, as well as the concluding. There's a question in evidence
Yes.
of
What questions can student ask?
This.
Yeah, it is needed because that is what is coherency, isn't it?
But I'm stuck with that learning theories only, ma'am. I'm not able to connect with the learning theories. Like, that's why there's a lot of delay.
That is a coherency. Coherency is nothing but having a proper starting, having a proper middle and proper ending. Now, how do you know you have a proper starting and middle and ending? When your students are able to say that, okay, I know that prior knowledge, I have understood what you have introduced. Now I understood where you are taking me. I am able to recap. That is why you are giving that statements, isn't it?
So the learning theories can be the scaffolding, that learning theory I can pull over there.
It is scaffolding only, but scaffolding, see, when you are telling about coherency, coherency is the plan. Scaffolding is how you are implementing. That's the difference. So when you are implementing, how you are taking is what is their question.
Okay.
Yeah, any other? I think Shilpa will be sharing the feedback. Please do submit because your timelines also only 7 members have submitted. I don't know whether, no, many times I've started asking Shilpa out of interest, they have started joining, or was it a forceful this one that no, you were asked to join.
Ma'am, if we
Because
have doubt,
see,
ma'am, can we connect to you, ma'am?
that is why I said message me, because I think yesterday only Alicia messaged and I told her, because it was only regarding feedback, I told submit, then I will talk to you.
And also
Okay.
feedback from the past 4 classes, I don't see that everybody is doing it as well, ma'am. Which was
See,
very regular in the beginning of the class, but now, many of you are not doing it.
See, one thing you have to understand, if you ask me the same questions that I have told in the class, now you also get irritated with your students, isn't it? Time and again, after repeating, if they don't listen and ask the same questions, how it will be. If it is really something that needs help, yes, I'll definitely connect with you and I'll tell you we have to meet and I will clarify for you. Because one I have to do with Garima. Okay, I'm just waiting. Okay, I'll
Yes,
most
ma'am.
probably I'll have to sit with you for your lesson plan, that I'll get it done, because you were not there in the class, so that I'll
Yes.
get it done.
Yes.
Yes, when you're really stuck, I can really understand. You're putting in effort, you're getting stuck, and I'm connecting with you. I will immediately help you out. But no,
Okay,
from
ma'am.
your side, I don't see the moment coming. I'll find it difficult.
Ma'am,
Okay.
I have made the changes in the lesson plan of Unit 2, ma'am. Those minor changes you have told me.
I think yours is approved, Preeti. Only thing,
Huh.
it was
Yeah,
small
minor
things.
changes you have said,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that is done.
So I will start working on the
Yes.
that observation
Implementation.
visit thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have
Yes.
implemented the lesson plan unit 2.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the observation and then I'll start with the reflection, ma'am. Once I get the observation from my mentor, ma'am.
Observation feedback parallelly. See, once observation feedback is approved, you can send your unit 3 parallelly work at EOL UR.
Okay, I can
Ma'am, the
start.
changes
I
what
didn't
you have-
understand, ma'am. Can you once again repeat this part, ma'am?
You have to send me your observation feedback. Once your observation feedback is approved, start with your unit 3 lesson plan.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
EOL and EOR can be done parallelly.
Okay, fine, ma'am.
Ma'am, the
Understood.
changes what you have asked me to do, I have started working on that. And maybe by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will be sending it to you, ma'am.
Sure.
I will be sharing it with you.
Ma'am, for me,
I'm in
data
touch with my mentor. I have told her that what all changes you have asked me to make. So she is just guiding me. Accordingly, I am working on that.
Okay.
Ma'am, for me, you have asked me to make a few changes in the EOP. The evidence of practice, there was less content. So I have started doing that. But during this Sankranti vacation, can I complete and connect with you, ma'am? Unit 1 and Unit 2.
Yes, you can. You can. I will be back on 16th. So if you let me know, yes, I will definitely connect. Not an issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Kushi.
Ma'am, I have done the changes, ma'am. Actually, sorry, that was really mistake, ma'am. I understood. Actually, it should come in the EVOP. I'm talking about unit 2 evidence of learning. So I did that correction. So now my
can you please check once more? No,
yeah,
there
I
was
did it,
one
ma'am. I
mistake.
did it. I understood the mistake really. So I have the observation form has been approved now, ma'am. So unit 3 can be done, ma'am. Now unit 3 I have already
I'll
shared.
check. I'll check. You have corrected and send it now. That middle part is done.
Now,
Okay,
no,
I
I have
think-
connected it, ma'am. I have corrected it.
Okay.
Only thing is like lesson plan of unit 3 and the activity log I shared before that self. So now can you
You
like
want
just
any corrections, you can correct it and send it to me. I've kept it as
Okay.
100. You want to correct
Yeah.
it, you
Can I
correct
send
it and
again?
let me.
I should
Yeah,
I
you
should
can
send
send.
again.
You can. Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah. And unit 3, when you're sending, send me with the intended outcomes and agreed area of focus. No need the teaching learning part. Fill that along with your lesson plan and send it to me. Lesson plan is approved. I need that part also, because based on your unit 2, I will check that and then you can proceed.
Sorry, ma'am. I didn't understand, ma'am. Unit 3 lesson plan.
Unit 3 observation feedback. You have 2 parts, isn't it? Intended outcomes and agreed
Outcome.
focus area. Those
Yes.
2 also fill it and send it, I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, in Unit 3, can we implement a new activity which we haven't even
Yes,
once
you
also
can.
done? Not even done. It's a like we are going to try
Yes,
it.
you can. Yeah, you can.
So if it fails, then reflection
Doesn't
we have.
matter. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. In your activity log, final reflection, you will write why it failed. That's it.
Okay, but that we will not
Remember,
get
Cambridge, see, if you are taking a risk doing something new for the benefit of your children, Cambridge is not against it.
Because I thought of implementing MUN, ma'am. Generally, MUN is never implemented in any of the English, like, I don't know whether I have never seen. So I was thinking, what if I take the same model and implement in one of my
Yeah,
classes?
so you have to design that and you can do it. It's not
That's
a
what I'm
problem.
designing
You
it,
can.
but I'm wrecking my brain like how to go about it. But then that's what if it fails, then I should not get less marks
No,
as
no,
well.
no. It doesn't matter. See, one thing is you will write your reflection based on your failure. That's how you learn, isn't it?
Okay. So I will
That's how
not
you
fail.
learn.
I mean, I'll not get less marks, nothing like that. Okay.
Nothing like that.
Okay.
Anjali,
Nothing like that.
you're exactly replicating your students now.
Huh?
No, the way
Let me
students ask the teacher, during board exams and all, that's how you all are like, you're exactly into your students' shoes.
No, that's what when my mentor gave a feedback, I was like, ma'am, is it that bad? She was like, obviously feedback will be there, it cannot be perfect because we generally tend to take like so
No, you
that's
all have to be prepared now. You will be getting feedbacks till the last minute you upload. And then it is going to be very, very critical. You must be open-minded. You must be open to receive feedback and rework again and again on your assessments if you're keen on your grades. Leave about you getting a pass grade or a distinction. So we are like, keen on you not getting any kind of F grade or resubmission from the examiner. That's what, as a center, we wish for all the candidates. So how you write your assignments, how you reflect, and how the examiner receives it, it all depends upon the examiner's, point of view also. So we meeting the criteria and then meeting the deadlines is very, very important. So today being the last class, I want you all to really work on your assignments as per the timelines set in the policy document. You all know time and again we keep telling you and ask you to refer your guidelines. So we want to restrict the reviews from now. The restriction of the reviews also. Please review thoroughly, use your plagiarism checks, do your checking. Make sure you do not use too much of AI and then chat GPT in your assignments, because nowadays the focus is more on the AI tools. So if in case you are taking AI support, your assignment will be rejected and then it will be considered as a malpractice. So you getting that kind of a feedback from the Cambridge is going to impact your profile at a larger extent. So please don't do all such things. Even if you're taking some time, you do it, you understand, you comprehend it properly, and then you write your assignments. Don't let anybody take charge of your assignments. First, your mentor review, then your mentor review. Only if you're confident that you are meeting the set guidelines as per the checklist given by Sudha ma'am, then only use reviews of your PL. Use them wisely. Because once it is done, we can't extend the reviews because it becomes very difficult for the PL also to review each and every time right from the beginning. Okay, hope I am clear on this aspect. Sudha ma'am, did I miss something you would like to add?
No. See, one more thing is, slowly I will be also bringing plagiarism paid software. I'm looking at it. Now, the problem is it's going to be a remark on the center also, which is not going to look good. So we are trying for avoiding. That is the reason I'm repeatedly telling wherever I'm noticing that I'm putting it as a comment. So if you feel bad, please you will have to, because once you get a comment from Cambridge, we can't do anything.
Ma'am, if you require, we'll take it for the center, because we would be requiring, down the lane for any kind of modules that we are running under FESDA center, we need to have a plagiarism check as well. So because more than the candidate, the center is also getting affected if there is any kind of remarks from the Cambridge or from any other source. Right? You please work on that, ma'am. If in case
it's there, ma'am, because I have just checked it actually, because my daughter uses it for her college. So I asked her, she said,
you please let
Turnitin
me
is
know
there.
how it works. Then we will probably take the license for the center.
Turnit is there. Turnitin is actually used by universities, so we can use that.
Because more, importantly, we need to check whether it is from any AI or
Yes,
human
that it does,
or
ma'am.
any
That
other
it does.
Websites. Yeah.
That it does.
Yeah. See, we
Even
are not
another
denying
is
the
there.
fact that you must not use AI or ChatGPT. Even if you use it, see, first thing is you must use your intellect to use the right kind of prompts. Once you use the right kind of prompts, when you get to understand what kind of how do you have to write your assignments, you must be using your personal touch. You have to use your essence in building your assignments. Do not completely use the entire content and then run it across. So please don't do that. And use your doubt clarification session on the 19th productively. Please come with all your FAQs. Use your Pongal vacation wisely. I understand that you get a break, but if in case you're keen on uploading your portfolios, I want you all to use this time period to work on your assignments. Immediately after your vacation, you must be able to finish your unit 3. That's how we have designed the entire course module, because for us to start the next batch, we don't want anything to be pending. And this time specifically, as sir mentioned in the morning, we don't want to carry forward the candidates who are not completing to the next batch. That will not be done. Hope you all understand, and we have lot of expectations from this batch especially. So please make sure you all meet our expectations and then genuinely finish your assignments within the given deadlines. Right? Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions you have? See, in case you have a query, please post it. Please post it in WhatsApp. In case I'm not able to answer it through WhatsApp, I'll definitely call you and connect with you and give you the answer.
Yeah. So the
Okay.
I
Ma'am, may I know the deadlines, ma'am?
Ma'am, you have to finish all the units by January, ma'am. If you have to, and complete assignments must be approved so that we can go for February upload.
It was Miss Parveen who asked it.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Parveen, you have signed a MOU with the school, right? In that, very clearly the timelines are also mentioned. You have a copy of it with you.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, my doubt is we have 3 units to complete, no, ma'am. So unit 1, do we have a deadline, and unit 2 separately, like that I'm asking?
See, no like that. You have to complete after another. That is why from the beginning we were behind you to complete the units. Okay, so you will have to work it out, complete it and submit it by Feb end, then Jan end, then February uploading can happen.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I was actually quite busy preparing for my own master's and groups exam, so which made it challenging for me to focus on writing the assignments. So I'd greatly appreciate you if you just help me. I'll start sending the materials and share the drive. So let me know if you need further adjustments. So I'll start sending, ma'am.
You complete, see, as per the timelines, you can submit your assignments and you can work, okay? So you will have to finish it by January end. That is the deadline that was given by sir, so that February everyone will have to move.
Sure,
Okay?
sure, ma'am. I'll
January
start.
uploads, I know that it is not possible. So only one upload we can be doing, but February we would like everyone to upload it.
Sure, ma'am. I'll start sending from the unit 1. So back to back, just kindly go through it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And if no other
Ma'am,
questions,
I was
please do
just
complete
thinking
it.
that, Sudha ma'am, just a point here. Since almost we are done with the classes, now I guess if we keep the group open also, if anything is there, they can post in the group. Is that okay?
Yes, fine.
Okay. So
But
I'll
no
keep our
good
group
morning and
open.
happy birthday messages, please.
And if somebody is asked the doubt and if it is the same thing you have in your mind, don't repeat it again. Use the group productively for you to connect with Sudha ma'am or any other doubt clarification. Are we clear about it?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, you can. If you've completed, please finish the feedback. You can leave. Thank you and have a good day. Happy
Thank you.
Sankranti.
Thank you all.